What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Blitz Sports Media. I'm Blitz Link here, and we are back here on the Blitz Angle tonight talking Bears and Vikings reactions. And every primetime game we basically got was awesome. I mean, despite some of our fan bases, mine included, falling apart in the primetime stage, there was some really good football played. And tonight's action, there was bad football at times, but it was an absolute classic between both NFC North teams. We got a few people backstage that we're going to be talking ball without. Shout out to some of the people already in chat. We got Brady, a Blitz OG, and then we got Mickey in here talking already. Should be a good time here on Blitz Sports Media tonight. So make sure you guys are dropping all your fantasy questions that you have, any sort of NFL reactions that you have here in the chat, and we'll be live discussing this and other news around the NFL leading up to week 2. Week 1 is come and gone now, and week 2 is around the corner. We're going to welcome in RJ Nowicki here. RJ is our big Bears guy. RJ, how are the vibes right now?
I mean, they're not great. Like, what do you mean? Definitely, they've been better. That was a tough one for sure.
What did you kind of notice, throughout the game? Obviously, the momentum kind of took a shift there, but do you think who's more to blame for that momentum shift?
I just feel like our offense stalled, man. I mean, we had 3 points after that until Caleb's touchdown at the end. We had 3 points after the first opening drive. I mean, defense balled out. You had your top 2 corners in the game out, or not in the game, on the team out, like in Jalen and Kyler Gordon. There's just not a lot more that you can ask for them to do. I mean, down the stretch, maybe they didn't play as well, 27 points, but still, like, that's not. I mean, you held Jay Jetta is for most of the game was wearing more chains than catches he had. So I thought we played pretty well against him. I mean, he came back and bit us in the ass, but I think Caleb looks at it more on him too, and I think that's probably what myself and a lot of the fans will look at as more of the offense than defense, especially with your top 2 guys out.
Yeah, I thought the defense did an admirable job. It feels like the Bears kind of are the only team that has Justin Jefferson kryptonite right now, where they can slow him down for just a little bit and enough. And all of a sudden, it just felt like the Bears had so many opportunities to extend the lead. JJ McCarthy looked so uncomfortable in this one, and they really couldn't get anything going. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the running game starts getting going for the Vikings. They get a few good pass plays, right? They finally get a touchdown on the board, and there we go. It just the momentum from that point on shifted once JJ McCarthy felt a little bit confident, and this team was able to play the way Kevin O'Connell wanted. Kevin O'Connell is a great coach. He's been through situations where it's looked bad the entire game and won. And obviously, Ben Johnson in his first year, he's a great offensive mind. And I think the first 20 plays said that. It said Ben Johnson's here and he's not ready. He's ready to make Caleb look like a really good quarterback. And we saw 10 of 10 to start the game, and it was Caleb checking the ball down. He was staying within his progression. Everything looked good. He got outside of the first 20, man. He was a different guy, and that's a scary, scary thing to think about is these splits that he can have. A coach can only take you so far as your talent. And Caleb Williams, I mean, he showed flashes tonight where we were like, wow. I mean, he looked fast tonight. I don't know what you saw, RJ.
Yeah, he did. I definitely thought he was
quick.
moving. Yeah,
He was moving quick, and I thought some of his evasiveness out of the pocket was pretty good tonight. He didn't necessarily run into sacks like he did last year, which was a big step,
yeah.
but it felt like he just didn't get the ball out, and his accuracy was brutal tonight. He had it just was not looking good. Brady, RJ, I had Chicago at 7-10. Do we think that's tracking right now?
Yeah, definitely. I would be if they somehow were able to sneak a wild card or anything like that, definitely. But new offense, first year head coach, second year quarterback, their schedule is not easy. This is not an easy division by any means. I mean, I think the division will be a little more of a dogfight than people think, just because interdivision games always. I feel like they always have tendencies to roll like that. Every game that the Bears played last year in the division, I think most were a one score, like 7 or 3 points or less, maybe. But yeah, 7-10 is definitely probably close to what they might be. But we'll see.
7-10 with offensive momentum seems like a good year.
I agree.
It seems like a good year. Kyle's calling Brady a bot. Said Chicago will be 16-1.
No,
he said that's where they're tracking right now. They are tracking towards 16-1. We're gonna welcome in Dan and Dale, who are backstage. Dan and Dale, how we doing today, guys?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
So I'm gonna start with you, Dale. What were your thoughts on tonight's game?
Um, uh, it was kind of a tale of two halves, I guess, or 3 quarters and then 1 quarter for JJ McCarthy. He looked like a rookie, you know. He missed his whole rookie season, so he's still a rookie. This is his first NFL game, well, his first NFL regular season game, and he looked like it. But I think it's pretty telling with people saying it factor and things like that, that he turned it on and he made the plays when they mattered most to get his team to win. So I mean, yes, as you get games under your belt, you want to see more consistency from the first quarter to fourth quarter. But I mean, going up against a Bears defense that was laying it on and getting in it, getting in this, the first half,
All
and,
right now.
yeah, a little bit after that, I mean, to keep your head in the game and turn it around. I mean, because not only are you a rookie, but it has to be on your mind somewhat that, hey, the pressure that I missed all the last season. I know all these people are expecting X, Y, and Z of me. I got either the first or second best receiver out there who, yeah, he has my back. That's my guy. But these guys around me, this is my team now. And they chose me. They could have had Aaron Rodgers. They could have had maybe another quarterback. They could have re-signed Sam Darnold, but they chose me. All these things, and on top of that, the first half going how it did, the third quarter, and then it's like you start making plays. You just keep your head in it. So I was impressed by that. I was really impressed. Caleb, he started fast, and then it just kind of unraveled from there. So, but at the same time, I give him a little credit because it is the Vikings defense. The Vikings defense were very good last year. Really good. So I came away very impressed with McCarthy and a little bit worried about Caleb, but at the same time, I'm gonna give him till about mid-season to show me something.
Yeah, I mean, I think you bring up a good point about Brian Flores being a really tough matchup, especially for young quarterbacks. I mean, Vikings are no joke on the defensive side of the ball, and it felt like once Caleb got out of a rhythm, he was kind of cooked at that point. The throws were not necessarily online, his reads weren't getting the ball out of his hands, he wasn't trusting what he was seeing. And once that happened, Brian Flores was having a field day, and they basically were having their way with him. I think JJ McCarthy, I think one of the things that he excels with. No, I don't think he's overly talented. No, I don't think he's to a point where he reads defenses very well. I think his best attribute is that it seems like he's just comfortable in, moments that rookies should not be comfortable in. Obviously, like he's never been a guy that's been a high volume passing guy. He's had 20 attempts, guys, and they were down for a majority of this game. He's not going to be a flashy guy, but if he can be a guy that's good enough the majority of the game and feel good in the fourth quarter and make big time plays. I mean, we talk about Jalen Hurts, and we don't consider Jalen Hurts one of the top 5 guys in the NFL, but this guy won a Super Bowl because he's not overly flashy and he's consistently good the entire game, and he comes up big in the fourth quarter. And I think McCarthy's ceiling could be a guy like that. I don't know if he has the ceiling of a top 3 guy in the NFL, but I think McCarthy showing the poise in a game where he struggled the entire game and being able to do that was very impressive to me. Shout out to Jordan Mason too. I mean, we'll talk about him in a little bit, but he looked incredibly nice. Dan, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just I take a lot of notes during the game, and I'm big on turning points. I think the NFL comes down to 3 or 4 plays every game, and since we got RJ here, I want to ask him. In the second quarter, the Bears went for it on 4th and 3. I didn't agree with it at the time. I thought they should have kicked the field goal, and they ended up at the end of the day losing by 3 points. I want to get your take. Did you agree with that call for them going for it?
Yeah, I agreed with that one. We knew Ben Johnson was going to be aggressive. I thought they were in a good spot to go for it. Like you said, in the second quarter, still early in the game. I look at the biggest momentum, what you had just mentioned, Dan, those 3 or 4 plays that happened. I look at that missed field goal. The missed field goal from Cairo,
Santos,
turn it
yeah.
over at the 50, and then they go down and score and then make it. I mean, I think that I don't recall exactly what the score was at that point, but I'm pretty sure we would have been up 2 scores if he had made that field goal. So I looked at that as a bigger play, and then allowing them to have half the field to go, a bigger play than going for it on that fourth and 3 early on in the second quarter.
Okay, yeah, it was 17-16 at that point, and according to Next Gen Stats, the Bears had a 90% chance to win.
Yeah,
and then it only went down from there after that missed field goal. But yeah, like that whole drive, they had a holding call, intentional grounding by Caleb, just continued pushing back and turned it into a 50-yard field goal for Santos. And yeah, is he hurt? He's usually money. Usually,
Dude,
runs
no,
through the field.
here's
He's
the thing
never
with
had
Kyler.
he's never had a strong. He's
Yeah.
like 40 and under. He's a pretty good field goal kicker. Anything longer, like he couldn't even get the ball out of the damn end zone in the fourth quarter. Like, dude, you got to be able to boot that. There was
RJ,
like
you
no
knew
way.
when Cairo Santos was kicking that off, if he was going deep, it wasn't going to be far enough. Like you just knew.
It was that was bad.
Does he usually struggle at Soldier Field?
I would say it's just the distance. Like it doesn't necessarily
Yeah, I know
matter
he
as
doesn't
far
have
as
the base
where. Like
weight.
he's been a pretty consistent kicker. Like watching him since he's been with the Bears, I've never been like worried about him making a field goal. I'm just worried about his distance of his kick sometimes.
He can't listen. He's got a extended range of anything over 50. It's not going to be not going to be pretty. But he's really good inside 50 yards. But with today's NFL, like getting kickers that can just hit. I mean, we see Chris Boswell for the Steelers literally win games for them because he has a crazy leg. Which I mean, kickers deciding games is crazy in 2025. But that's kind of where we're at. Dan, outside of that, big shift on that fourth down call, what else did you see?
Well, I did agree with your point. You said earlier, Caleb looking fast. I wrote that in my notes. I was like, what did he do in the offseason? Because he looked real quick. Last year, he couldn't outrun anybody. And in college, he was doing that easily. His rookie year, he was getting caught. And I don't know what he did in the offseason, but yeah, he looked real fast. Let's see. And then that turning point, like we just alluded to, that whole drive. I mean, after that missed kick by Santos, they were outscored 21-0. The Vikings just ran with the game after that, which is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it really was a tale of two halves. And I brought up Jordan Mason and his kind of workload, averaged 4.5 yards per carry, out carried Aaron Jones. The official stat is Jordan Mason 15 attempts, Aaron Jones 8 attempts. The rumors were that Mason would have a pretty significant role. I don't think we expected it to be this dominant in terms of snaps with a healthy Aaron Jones. I mean, they're going with a 1A, 1B type of approach in the backfield for fantasy football purposes. Getting Jordan Mason where a lot of people did, it's exciting for sure. So I think that's interesting. I think at receiver, they struggled without Jordan Addison, I think, tonight. I think they were missing him a little bit. Another guy that could separate at an elite level outside of Justin Jefferson. And despite the Bears being down at cornerback, they didn't necessarily separate well. I was a little disappointed with TJ Hawkinson basically being a non-factor in this one as well. But I think this might be more the norm of the Vikings passing game outside of Justin Jefferson if this is how JJ McCarthy is going to look against a Bears defense that was missing two of their top guys. RJ, Bears defense, what were your thoughts on them this week?
Definitely a little bit of the tale of two halves, but I thought they played pretty well for having their top two guys out. Like I mentioned, before Dale and Dan had hopped on, holding Jettas to, I think he had three catches going into the later stages of the game before he ended up getting that touchdown. But I was impressed with them. I thought they stopped the run pretty well up until, mid-third quarter. It felt like Jones was starting to turn it on a little bit. And then that was just more of the momentum shift, I felt like. But early on, I was really impressed. I thought they were holding their ground pretty well, especially missing their top two guys and a linebacker as well. And they were still putting pretty good pressure on McCarthy, stopping the run game, forced a lot of 3-and-outs. I mean, you look at McCarthy's first and second half stats, like it's again just the tale of two halves. So I was impressed with them for the most part. Maybe not impressed, but I thought they played a pretty good game for having their top three guys out.
Yeah, and I think the more interesting part is their pass rush actually was pretty impressive today. They made some big time offseason moves to try to improve that, and it looked pretty good throughout a lot of points of this game. And obviously the Vikings missing Christian Darrisaw, but the other four guys in that offensive line are really good players, and they were giving them fits early on in this game. So that was nice to see for sure on that side. Dale, I'll take this one to you. Ben Johnson, right? First game as an NFL head coach. What would you grade him based on this performance?
Tough one, man.
That is a tough question.
Yeah, that's tough because
I'm on the spot.
I would say C-. I'm gonna give a little grace because I know I sound like a broken record over the last couple of days. It's first game of the season. And I feel like Caleb maybe is taking a little bit longer than Ben Johnson would have hoped to grasp some of the nuances of his offense. And he's holding the ball too long. Maybe he's scrambling and he looked good when he's scrambling, as you guys alluded to. But maybe sometimes he's scrambling and missing guys that either is open or that you could possibly throw open.
Real
So,
quick, before you finish that, the biggest thing I noticed when he scrambled is that he put his head down. He wasn't looking down the field, and that's what makes Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, like the improvisers, really good, is that they're looking downfield when they're scrambling. Caleb shouldn't be a run-first guy, especially considering the fact the Bears have elite weapons everywhere in terms of pass catchers.
right. And he has the arm talent to get the ball wherever he needs to get it to. So that's another thing. Just because you can run doesn't always mean you should run. So, like I said, I will give him a C- because at the end of the day, coming from where he came from in Detroit with his track record, and having that talent on that offense, I'm gonna be a little fair, but at the same time, after that first drive, it just slowly started to unravel, and so I'm more worried about Caleb and what he could do to this offense, negative or positive, and what that would mean for Ben Johnson. So yeah, I'm gonna give him a C-.
Dan, how about you?
Let's see where my stats go here. Man, I mean that's tough. 1 TD for Caleb, 1 rushing. I'll just go C. I'll go ahead and give him a solid C. I'll be nice. I mean, one of their touchdowns was a pick six. JJ McCarthy gifted them 6 points. But I mean, the big thing I just didn't agree with at all was you take the points. You got a rookie quarterback on the road, his first start in the NFL. It's 4th and 3. Just take the points. Continue to put pressure on them. I don't know why you want to go for it at that point. And then I didn't agree with the call either. I mean, we got Caleb looking good. Just boot him out to the right. Do the same play that Patrick Mahomes does. He's got the running back going out the flat. He always throws to him. If he's not open, just run. I mean, the Chiefs always do that. When they need a play, they always do that. 4th and whatever. So I didn't agree with that call. They should have kicked it, took the points, and at the end of the day, they lost by 3.
RJ, how about you?
I'll settle. I guess I'll go one above, just because I have a little bit of biasy. So I'll give him a C+.
There you go.
Not much different than what both of you guys just said. Definitely a couple things that certainly could have been different. They'll look at it and say the same thing. It's hard to it's hard to give a grade, I guess, when it's just your live reaction to it. But yeah, I'll give him a C+. I guess you gotta kind of run it back and see what they missed. Because I mean, you test some of it to Caleb too. You know, Caleb's the one throwing the ball. He was missing a few open receivers as well. You don't expect him to get everything in week 1 of a new offense, a new scheme, a new coach, everything that's so brand new for a second-year guy. So I think they'll be all right. Definitely he's going to need some time, but I'll settle with a C+.
And then I do want to say too, just to add, not to cut anybody off, thinking about where he came from last year to being with a guy like Ben Johnson, it's kind of I can actually kind of give him a little grace, because it's like your first NFL season was so tumultuous, and it's a roller coaster ride, and it's like now you have a guy that's coming off of just producing fireworks show after fireworks show after fireworks show, producing top offense after top offense, and it's like, okay, like this offense is crazy, So it looks like it looks today, and like I said, I feel like that first drive was a little glimpse of what it could be potentially down the road, maybe mid-season, maybe a little bit later or something like that, which is why I'm excited to give them a few games up under their belt, because they still only lost by 3. But at the same time, to your point, one of the touchdowns was a pick 6. But it's just looking at where they come from last year and stuff like that, and just these past few years with head coaches and coordinators and stuff like that, I mean, I can give them a little grace.
I'm going to go higher than all you guys, actually. I'm going to go B. And the reason I'm going B, to be honest, is the way they came out of the gates. That's
You all right, Ryan?
I'm all right. I'm completely sober right now. We are good. I'm going B. I am going B. And like I think, the coaches have the biggest impact, I think, right out of the gate, how your team starts, and right out of halftime. Ben Johnson failed after halftime in this game. I believe that. And Caleb Williams struggled.
We got you, yeah.
I'm sober, I promise. Caleb Williams really struggled in the second half, and it was accuracy problems, all that stuff too. But the way the Bears came out on both sides of the ball, you could tell this team is just well coached out of the gate. They were prepared for everything the Vikings were going to do. They had high intensity, high energy on both sides of the ball. The opening game script was incredibly solid as well. That's the part I was impressed with. I haven't watched a Bears team do that in a few years, And Ben Johnson was able to do that in week 1. And yes, sure, the offense stuttered as of late. It didn't produce as well. But I think you have to look forward to the fact that at least the guy is putting them in the right direction to succeed. Whether or not his quarterback is going to be able to consistently do it, I feel like that's something that we're going to see play out over time. But I think Ben Johnson, the second half adjustments are something that he needs to work on. But I think the way he prepares a team to get ready to play a game is impressive. And I think Dennis Allen did a pretty good job until that fourth quarter as well. So I think the Bears, for the first time, it feels like in a long time, are finally getting to the point where they have coaches that are going to have good discipline and they're going to get ready to play games. And that's something that they haven't had in quite some time. Like, that's the main reason I'm giving it a B. The game itself, looking at the raw numbers and stuff like that, you could 100% just say C, middle of the tier. But from what I've seen from the Bears over the past few seasons and the Shane Waldron experience last year, absolutely abysmal. So getting the Ben Johnson experience was definitely something a little bit different. Let's see here. Based on kind of all that information and, talking about it, this will be our last thing for Bears Vikings. JJ McCarthy, Caleb Williams, who is set up for more success this season?
Crazy enough, I would say, yeah. It feels obvious to say this one, but I would say JJ McCarthy, and I say that because between the coaching staff, the defense that's coming off of last year, Chicago's defense looked good in the first half and everything, and like I said, slowly just started to unravel offensively. But I feel like having that bona fide, not just a number one, but probably the best wide receiver is him, between him and Chase in the league, and just having that puzzle piece, that head of the snake. When Addison comes back, you have him slot pushing Thielen and Naylor down, and those are good receivers in their own right. So I just feel like with his supporting cast and his coaching staff that showed, hey, we can adjust during the game and we can put it, even though he had an abysmal first half and a bit, we can put him in a position to help us win the game and help him get comfortable enough and build that confidence. I'm going to say JJ McCarthy with the Vikings.
Dan, how about you?
I go with Caleb. They drafted. Just look at the NFL draft. Their first pick, they drafted a tight end, Loveland out of Michigan, and then second pick, Luther Burden, which I didn't hear his name a lot today. Did he get a pass?
He got one design screen.
Yeah, he got killed.
Always, Kias is currently their starting slot receiver right now.
Okay.
He was a dog.
Yeah, I'll say Caleb. I mean, it's year one. There's gonna be bumps around along the road, just like tonight. But yeah, I mean that they invested into the offensive line, and that's why there was a lot of false starts. I think they're trying to get used to Caleb's cadence. Darnell Wright had a few penalties tonight too, but I think Caleb's set up for more success this year.
They actually had 12 penalties for 120 yards tonight, which is crazy, and a majority of them were penalties that absolutely. I mean, the massive penalty was the pass interference. That had a lot of yards attributed to it, but that part needs to get cleaned up with them. RJ, Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy, who's in the better position?
I don't know. I'm glad you picked me last because I've been thinking about it since you asked the first time. But it's hard when that's your team to not say Caleb. So I won't say him. I'll say JJ just because. Yeah, I thought you made some really good points about the receiving core. He's got Kevin O'Connell, a proven head coach that's done this before. He's done it with two different quarterbacks already. In Kirk and then Sam Darnold. And then I think the other thing that plays to JJ McCarthy's advantage, not that, you obviously wish this on anybody, he got to sit behind and learn an entire offense for an entire year. Obviously he didn't play, but just to gain the knowledge, gain the insights, just see things that you don't necessarily see on the field. I think that's big for him. I certainly hope it doesn't turn out that way, and I hope Caleb plays a lot better, but I definitely think that he's in a good position, and especially coming off of being able to, watch an entire offense for a year could definitely set him up for some good success.
I think it's interesting too, is you kind of have to judge your quarterback's performance based on the division first and then the conference second of trying to go out and compete and win Super Bowls. The NFC North, unfortunately, for Caleb Williams and the Bears, it's a really tough conference. The Lions had a rough showing, right? But they still have one of the best rosters in the NFL. The Packers seem like they're even better than they were last year with the addition of Micah Parsons. And you have the Vikings, who have an incredibly talented roster as well. The Bears are going to be judged against those teams first. and then teams in the conference when they start competing for a playoff spot. And Caleb Williams is going to have to elevate his game in order to compete in this division. And I'm interested to see how long his leash is going to be for a Ben Johnson guy that didn't draft him. I know Ben Johnson came to the Chicago Bears because he loves the city of Chicago and he believes Caleb Williams is an incredible talent. But listen, at the end of the line, it's Ben Johnson's job that will eventually be in question if Caleb Williams does not pan out. If it doesn't pan out for 2 straight seasons under Ben Johnson, I would not be surprised if the Chicago Bears bring in another quarterback by year 4 to figure it out. And it's crazy to bring this up now.
Hey,
all right, it's week 1, but all right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
I'm getting way ahead of
Let me hear RJ.
way ahead of myself right now. But I think the Caleb, and this is kind of where I was going with this, is the Caleb development timeline is 2 years. He genuinely has 2 years to figure it out and learn Ben Johnson's system. And if he can't do that in 2 years, I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago brings somebody in. RJ, do you disagree completely with that?
I mean, all right, like I'm in week 1 of 2025, so I'm really, really don't want to start fucking thinking about that right now. So I'm just gonna plead the fifth on that one and say we're on to Detroit.
But it's crazy because I was kind of thinking the same thing earlier, that literally what Ryan said. I mean, okay, theoretically, you've already got past your rookie season. You get a new head coach, so that leaves maybe 2, maybe 3 seasons. Just depends on how the 2 seasons go. Maybe they give you a third one just to see, because the 5th-year option is coming up and all this other stuff. But if he just doesn't show a grasping of it, because you got a coach that's coming from Detroit that worked with Jared Goff, and Jared Goff's a good quarterback, but he doesn't have the physical tools that you have. So then, I mean, there's a clear mismatch with that. So if he can get my offense down and run it to a T and put up the stats that he put up, what does that say about you if you can't? You don't have to be him, but the easy stuff, why, like the completion percentage, the thing, holding the ball too long, like what's
There's
not
a reason
working?
that Tyler Bagent played really well this preseason. I know it was against backups, but he's like the perfect backup quarterback in a Ben Johnson type system. Is that he doesn't have to do too much and he can play within a play action scheme well. He shouldn't be a starter in the NFL. Don't get me wrong. Should not be starting over Caleb Williams. No, don't mix me up. But I think there is a little bit of a simplicity to Ben Johnson's scheme that if the run is working and the play action's working well and you get the ball out of your hands on time, that this offense can work really well despite not having the talent. And we saw Jared Goff put up MVP type numbers in Detroit. And I think we all can agree Caleb Williams is a superior talent to Jared Goff. So if Caleb Williams can figure this out, he has the potential to be a top 5 guy. And I want to see him continue his development. I think the accuracy part needs to improve, and I'm not sure what it is with his accuracy, if it's the touch or it's just his mechanics in general. That'll be something I look at on film. It's definitely not a Cam Ward situation that I watched, but I mean, he's gotta make a little bit of adjustments there for sure. All in all, though, does anybody have closing thoughts on this game?
Yeah. Just to add on to your point, it's going to take a little bit. It's going to take a little bit for Ben Johnson to program the robot. It's his first game with Caleb, and he had to go against Brian Flores, who's been battling him for 3 seasons in Detroit. So these guys know each other. So I mean, it's a division battle. It's week 1. Give him time. Give him a year. I mean, Jared Goff wasn't an MVP his first year with Ben Johnson. I mean, I'm looking at his stats. He threw for 4,000 yards, 29 TDs. But then the next year, 4,000. So he only got better. He only got better each year. So let's judge Caleb after this season. Let's give him more than 1 game before we start talking about Tyler Bagent and all that.
Listen,
no short lease.
Podcast. We're being speculative.
He creeping.
Yeah, no.
Bagent creeping.
Yeah, no.
Rage made me after a week 1 loss.
He did get an extension. He creeping.
RJ's never coming back on. He's done.
I did want to ask you guys a question though, because I'm curious. Just watching, like I said, once again, his very first game, regular season game and everything like that. But just the feeling that you have after watching him with the skill set. Do you think that JJ McCarthy will be more Brock Purdy or more Tua?
Brock Purdy.
I think he'd
because
be more
Brock
Brock
Purdy,
Purdy than Tua because of his mobility in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
mobility.
aspect of it. I think he can improvise more than what Tua. I mean, Tua is basically a standing duck in the pocket if anything breaks down, and if his first read's gone, he's kind of screwed. JJ McCarthy, his progressions aren't there yet, but I think his scrambling ability, and you saw him try to do that early, it just didn't work, is there, and I think that part makes him a little bit better because of that. And I think Brock Purdy's a perfect guy that he should watch a lot of tape of and try to emulate. I think that would be a good, mold for JJ McCarthy to start developing.
Hey, I
I'll,
got a question real quick. Did JJ McCarthy look different throwing the ball? I thought his throwing motion was a little different. Did
He looked
anybody
like he
notice
was
that?
trying, like he was rearing back
He's
on
like
a couple
whipping
of
it, right?
throws.
Like
Like,
throwing it
yes, I 100%
like a
saw that.
baseball or
Yeah,
something.
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something to look at because in the preseason last year, he didn't look like that at all.
A couple throws, I saw
But
that for sure. Yeah.
but hey, I just noticed it, and I was trying to figure out what injury he had on his knee. I don't know if he's trying to not to push off his right
Yeah.
leg because it just looked awkward.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't think his touch was very good today either. So that's something
Mhm.
definitely to kind of take a look at and watch. I don't think the Vikings want to like. I know Kevin O'Connell wants to run the ball, but they want to get Jettas the ball as much as possible. They're going to want to throw the ball. McCarthy's going to have to figure out how to handle an actual passing workload for once in his life. But I think that it's going to be interesting to see kind of how it develops over the season. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Make sure you drop comments down below what your thoughts were about the Vikings and the Bears. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Blitz Angle content throughout the season. And us four will catch you guys next time.